Let me tell you something, if you've got haters, you're doing something right. But jealousy? Oh, jealousy is a different beast. It doesn't knock on your door, it creeps through the cracks. Silent but dangerous. Have you ever felt someone clapping for you with one hand while holding a dagger in the other? That's jealousy in action. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're diving deep into a truth that many of us overlook. Jealousy. The silent competitor in every race. If you've ever been held back, criticized, or left wondering why someone close to you acts so strangely, this one's for you. And before we go any further, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below, because this conversation might just open your eyes to what's been happening right under your nose. Have you ever shared a proud moment only to be met with a dismissive response like, well, it's not that big of a deal, or anyone could have done that? It stings, doesn't it? That's the hallmark of someone who's jealous. Instead of acknowledging your hard work, they diminish your achievements to make them seem less significant. It's not because your success lacks value, it's because it highlights their insecurities. Their inability to celebrate with you reveals how threatened they feel by your progress. Jealous individuals have a unique way of flipping the script. They might say things like, yeah, but you were lucky, or you only got it because you knew the right people. What they're really doing is shifting the focus away from your effort and onto external factors. This tactic is designed to make you question yourself and your accomplishments, planting seeds of doubt where there should be pride. It's their way of reassuring themselves that you didn't truly earn your success. Sometimes the downplaying comes in the form of comparison. They might point out someone else who achieved something similar and emphasize how that person did it better, faster, or bigger. This isn't constructive criticism, it's a calculated move to make you feel like your victory isn't unique or special. It's as if they're saying you're good, but you're not that good. These comparisons can be subtle, but their intent is always clear to make you feel smaller. Then there are those who disguise their jealousy as humor. They'll make jokes about your accomplishments, laugh it off, or add a sarcastic remark that turns your proud moment into a punchline. On the surface, it might seem harmless, but deep down, you feel the sting. Their laughter isn't sheer joy, it's a mask for their discomfort. They can't handle your success, so they try to trivialize it through jokes and sarcasm. Perhaps the most telling sign is when they simply don't acknowledge your success at all. They change the subject, act distracted, or pretend not to hear what you've just shared. Their silence speaks louder than words. It's not that they didn't notice, it's that they can't bring themselves to validate you. Your achievement becomes a mirror, reflecting their own unfulfilled aspirations, and they'd rather look away than confront it. Imitation is often seen as the sincerest form of flattery. But when someone mimics you with a competitive edge, it becomes something entirely different. It starts subtly. They begin to adopt your mannerisms, dress like you, or speak in ways that echo your tone. At first, it might feel flattering, even amusing, but over time, you notice a pattern. They're not imitating to learn or admire, they're imitating to compete. It's their way of saying, if you can do it, I can do it better. This kind of mimicry goes beyond simple admiration. They don't just replicate, they amplify. If you start a new fitness routine and post about it, they'll suddenly become the loudest advocate for the same lifestyle, showcasing their own progress as though they were the original pioneer. If you update your wardrobe or try a new hairstyle, they'll adopt a similar look but add something extra to make theirs seem superior. Their goal isn't to walk alongside you, but to outshine you in your own lane. The competition becomes even clearer when they seek validation for the very traits or skills they've copied from you. You might notice them fishing for compliments or subtly pointing out how well they're doing in areas where you've excelled. It's as if they're trying to claim ownership of your uniqueness, presenting it as their own to gain recognition. Their need to be seen as better often leaves you feeling as though they've hijacked something personal to you and used it for their own gain. Sometimes their mimicry extends to relationships or social circles. They might start befriending your friends, joining your hobbies, or inserting themselves into spaces where you thrive. This isn't about sharing interests, it's about proving they belong more than you do. They'll go out of their way to make their presence known, subtly positioning themselves as the more appealing or competent version of you. It can create tension, leaving you wondering whether they're genuinely interested or just trying to overshadow you. What makes this behavior particularly draining is the emotional toll it takes. Their mimicry often comes with a competitive undertone that forces you into a position of constant comparison. Instead of celebrating your own growth, you find yourself questioning whether you're doing enough or if they're somehow surpassing you. It's a subtle but effective strategy. They replicate your strengths, amplify them, and then try to push you into their shadow, all while making it seem like harmless coincidence. When someone is jealous, they often mask their envy behind subtle criticism or mockery, making it difficult to pinpoint their true intentions. It begins innocently enough, a lighthearted comment about your recent accomplishment, framed as a joke. They might say something like, "Wow, look at you acting like a big shot now." On the surface, it may seem playful, but underneath lies a jab meant to undermine your success. It's their way of keeping you grounded, not to support you, but to ensure you don't feel too confident about what you've achieved. This form of criticism is often laced with sarcasm. You might hear comments like, "Well, I guess anyone can do that these days," or "Must be nice to have everything handed to you." These remarks are designed to devalue your hard work and make you second-guess the worth of your accomplishments. The sarcasm creates an air of plausible deniability, allowing them to dismiss your discomfort with a casual, "I was just joking." It's a clever tactic to downplay their own insecurities while keeping you in check. Another way they mock your achievements is by highlighting what they perceive as flaws or limitations in your success. If you land a promotion, they might comment on how stressful your new responsibilities must be or how long it took you to get there. If you launch a new project, they might point out minor imperfections or areas where they think you could have done better. These critiques aren't constructive, they're subtle digs meant to diminish your joy and make your accomplishment seem less impressive. Sometimes their mockery comes through comparison. They'll bring up someone else who's achieved something similar, framing it in a way that makes your success feel less unique. For example, they might say, "That's great, but did you hear about so-and-so? They've done even more in less time." By shifting the spotlight, they make your achievement feel smaller and less worthy of recognition, all while deflecting attention away from their own jealousy. Perhaps the most damaging form of this behavior is when they mock your ambition rather than the achievement itself. They'll ridicule the dreams or goals that led to your success, implying that you're overly ambitious or unrealistic. You might hear remarks like, "Wow, aiming for the stars, huh? Let's see how long that lasts." These statements attack not just what you've achieved, but the very mindset that got you there, subtly planting seeds of doubt about whether your hard work was worth it in the first place. When you reach a major milestone, whether it's a promotion, a personal achievement, or a significant life event, you expect those closest to you to share in your joy. However, someone who is jealous will often react with indifference. Instead of congratulating you or acknowledging your success, they act as though it's no big deal. They might simply nod, offer a brief "that's nice," or change the subject completely, leaving you feeling isolated in your moment of triumph. Their lack of enthusiasm isn't just apathy, it's a reflection of their discomfort with your success. This indifference can be particularly painful when it comes from people you consider friends or family. When you've worked hard for something and it's finally paying off, you naturally want to share it with those who've been part of your journey. But a jealous person unable to celebrate with you creates an emotional distance. They won't ask questions, show interest, or offer their support. Instead, they remain cold, as if your achievement doesn't matter. Their inability to share in your joy signals that they see your success as a threat rather than a cause for celebration. In some cases, this indifference may manifest in the form of dismissive behavior. They may brush off your milestone as insignificant, saying things like, "Oh, it's not as big a deal as you think," or "I thought you were already at that level." By belittling your success, they remove the emotional weight that you should rightfully feel. Their response doesn't feel like a celebration, it feels like an attempt to downplay your accomplishment, almost as if they want to erase its importance in your life. The emotional impact of their indifference can be more damaging than outright criticism. When someone ignores or avoids celebrating your achievements, it creates doubt and confusion. You start questioning whether your success was worth celebrating in the first place. It's as though they've imposed their own feelings of inadequacy onto you, making you feel guilty for enjoying your own victories. Instead of encouraging you to reach higher, they've reduced the significance of your milestone to something less worthy of attention. Their indifference might also be a subtle form of competition. When you accomplish something noteworthy, they may feel that celebrating your success would elevate you above them. So instead of acknowledging your achievement, they act as if nothing has changed, keeping you at the same level in their eyes. This subtle avoidance of celebration is a way of maintaining control, ensuring that you don't overshadow them in any way. By refusing to recognize your growth, they keep you from stepping into the spotlight where they feel insecure. One of the most toxic behaviors stemming from jealousy is the spreading of rumors or gossip. When someone envies your success, they often feel the need to bring you down in the eyes of others. Instead of confronting you directly, they take the cowardly route of whispering behind your back. These rumors can be anything from exaggerations of your flaws to outright fabrications about your character. Their goal isn't just to diminish your achievements, but to erode the trust and respect others have for you, making you seem less credible or trustworthy. The most damaging part about this is that these rumors often start in subtle ways, like a casual remark in passing. They may drop a comment such as, "I heard they got that promotion because of their connections," or "Did you know they're not as nice as they appear?" These small seeds of doubt can grow into larger stories, spreading through your social circle like wildfire. By the time the gossip reaches others, it's been twisted so much that the truth is unrecognizable. The rumor monger has done their job creating a distorted image of you that's difficult to repair. Jealous people don't just spread rumors to make themselves feel better, they do it to isolate you. They want to ensure that others see you in a negative light, cutting off any support system you might have. When people believe these rumors, they begin to treat you differently. Invitations to social events are reduced, or people start avoiding you, all because of the lies being told behind your back. The intent is to isolate you from your community, making you feel alone and unsupported while they maintain their position in the group. What makes this behavior particularly insidious is that it's often disguised as concern or looking out for others. The jealous person might approach others and say, "I just thought you should know," or "I don't want to gossip, but..." These opening lines make the information sound like a necessary warning or a public service. The jealousy is hidden behind the guise of looking out for someone's best interests. Yet, when these rumors are shared, they are meant to poison the well and make you appear untrustworthy or even malicious in the eyes of others. Once these rumors start to circulate, they can be incredibly hard to undo. Even if you confront the person spreading them, it's often too late. The damage has already been done. The false narrative takes on a life of its own, and even those closest to you may start to question your integrity. This is the power of jealousy in its most destructive form. Not only does it affect how others see you, but it also eats away at your reputation, leaving you to repair the trust that's been shattered. A jealous person isn't satisfied simply sharing space with you. They need to surpass you in every way possible. This desire to outdo you can surface in the smallest, most insignificant areas of life. It could be as simple as a social media post, where they not only post something similar to yours, but go a step further to make it appear more impressive. If you share a picture of your new car, they might follow it up with a post about their upgraded model. It doesn't matter that these are trivial matters for them. It's all about claiming a perceived superiority, even if it's over something meaningless. This tendency to compete with you in every aspect of life is exhausting. They'll always find a way to one-up your victories. For example, if you talk about completing a challenging workout, they'll not only do the same exercise, but also boast about how much harder they push themselves. It's not about personal growth for them. It's about being able to say, "I did it better than you," even in the most mundane situations. They'll inject competition, always seeking validation for being better in the eyes of others. It's not limited to achievements or accomplishments. They will outdo you in preferences and taste too. If you mention enjoying a particular restaurant, movie, or book, suddenly they'll be the one to recommend something more exclusive or rare. It's as if they want to prove that their choices are more refined, more advanced, and more worthy of attention. This isn't about sharing experiences, it's about establishing themselves as the superior tastemaker, the one who always has the next best thing before anyone else. In social settings, their need to outdo you becomes even more glaring. If you receive praise for a job well done, they'll ensure they're right behind you with their own success story. They might even try to dominate conversations, always steering the topic back to their own achievements, no matter how trivial. It's like a constant race to make sure that no matter what you've done, they've done it better, faster, or in a more spectacular way. The worst part is that they don't even need the recognition, just the ability to outshine you in front of others. This behavior is exhausting and frustrating because it prevents you from enjoying your own wins. Instead of feeling proud of what you've accomplished, you're left constantly measuring your success against theirs, wondering if they'll always try to outdo you. What's meant to be a simple celebration of your life and milestones becomes a battlefield for their insecurities. They're not motivated by personal achievement, but by the need to prove they're always one step ahead, even in the smallest, most inconsequential matters. When you're praised by others, a truly supportive person will share in your happiness, often celebrating your achievements as if they were their own. But for someone who harbors jealousy, their reaction is completely different. They might smile outwardly, but there's a noticeable tension behind their eyes. You can almost feel the resentment building as others shower you with compliments. Their body language shifts subtly. They might cross their arms, avoid eye contact, or even let out an exaggerated sigh. These small signs reveal a deeper discomfort with your success, and they can't hide their true feelings for long. In social settings, their resentment becomes more pronounced. While others cheer you on and praise your hard work, they might act as though your success isn't deserved or isn't impressive enough to merit such attention. You might notice them rolling their eyes or making sarcastic comments under their breath. Instead of being happy for you, they become increasingly annoyed, as though your praise is somehow taken away from their own worth. The more attention you receive, the more resentful they become, as it forces them to confront their own feelings of inadequacy. Sometimes this resentment manifests as passive-aggressive behavior. They may try to downplay your success with remarks like, well, I guess it's good to get recognition, even if it's just for doing the bare minimum, or I could have done that too, but I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. These comments might be masked as casual, offhand remarks, but they reveal their true jealousy. They feel threatened by the attention you're getting and try to diminish it by suggesting that your success wasn't all that remarkable or that it's somehow undeserved. The underlying resentment can also appear in their attempt to redirect the praise toward themselves. If you're being recognized for a job well done, they might suddenly bring up their own achievements in an effort to shift the focus. They might say, that's great, but I actually did something even more impressive last year. Well, I've been doing something similar for longer. So this is their way of trying to steal the spotlight, unable to cope with the fact that you're the one being celebrated in that moment. What makes their resentment even more damaging is the fact that it creates tension and discomfort in group settings. When you're praised, they might try to shift the narrative, subtly undermining the moment in order to make you feel less important. Instead of feeling uplifted and motivated by your success, their jealousy leaves a bitter aftertaste. Their refusal to celebrate your accomplishments only highlights their insecurity and their inability to find joy in your progress, leading to an environment of competition rather than support. A jealous person doesn't just watch your success from a distance, they fixate on it, scrutinizing every step you take. It's as if they've made it their mission to track your progress and assess how each achievement measures up to their own. Whether it's through social media, casual conversations, or direct observation, they keep a close eye on every new venture you embark on. They want to know what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what results you're achieving, all because your progress triggers something deep within them that they can't ignore. The obsession doesn't stop at casual interests. They'll often dig deep into your updates, constantly checking in on your posts or asking pointed questions about your goals and achievements. How's that project going? You've been working on it for a while now, right? They might ask, knowing full well that they've been following your every move. They don't genuinely care about the details. They want to know if you're advancing faster than they are, if your efforts are paying off in ways they can measure. The constant monitoring serves as a way for them to compare your progress to their own. This obsession can even extend to the smallest aspects of your life. If you take a new class, change your routine, or try something different, they'll notice. They might not directly mention it, but you'll feel their eyes on you, always waiting to see how your new endeavors turn out. It's as if they're constantly evaluating your every decision, not out of curiosity, but out of an intense need to assess whether you're moving ahead of them. Each step you take becomes a point of comparison, and they can't help but track it meticulously. What's even more disturbing is that their obsession with your progress often leads to unhealthy thoughts and behaviors. They may begin to obsess over your failures, celebrating them in secret because it gives them a sense of relief, even if they never admit it out loud. If something doesn't go right for you, they'll latch onto that misstep as proof that you're not as successful as they thought. It fuels their competitive spirit, pushing them to scrutinize everything you do more intensely. In their mind, your mistakes are their victories, and they take comfort in knowing they're still ahead. This constant monitoring doesn't just affect them, it begins to creep into your life too. You may start feeling the pressure, wondering if you're being watched more closely than you realize. The more they obsess over your progress, the more they try to insert themselves into your narrative. They may not directly challenge you, but their presence and their continuous tracking of your every move creates an uncomfortable energy. Your achievements become less about your personal growth and more about a race they've decided to make you a part of, whether you want it or not. When someone is deeply jealous of you, their actions go beyond simple rivalry. They often reflect an unhealthy obsession with undermining or outshining your successes. From subtle criticism and mockery to constant comparison, their jealousy manifests in ways that drain your energy and make it harder to enjoy your own achievements. Their refusal to celebrate your milestones, coupled with the spread of rumors and a need to monitor your every move, creates a toxic environment where their insecurity leads them to undermine your progress at every turn. Recognizing these signs is crucial because it allows you to protect your peace and keep focused on your own growth without letting their negativity affect your journey. Keep moving forward, no matter how they try to pull you back.